Hello, hello, hello. Let's see if anyone came because it was like a um, not supposed to be going live chat. I was supposed to chat with somebody, but something definitely messed up. And I'd like to see if people hear me. First of all, how are you guys today? Write me something in the chat before everybody connects. Let's see. Hope YouTube doesn't ban me totally and somebody will receive a notification, although it wasn't supposed to be scheduled as a live, as I said. And just wanted to talk with people because, wasn't live for a very long time. And let's see if anyone hear me. Just write me a message if everything's okay. I see like 7 people already watching, something like that. Yeah, sound is good. Okay, so we're gonna start with a little intro and then, anyways. Yeah, hello, everyone. It's Philip Druzhin from Moscow, Russia. It's 3rd of February. I'm supposed to chat with someone but something definitely screwed up. Probably it was me because I was keeping and rescheduling twice. And well, anyways, I hope we're gonna talk soon with RV Truth. And maybe I'll be talking soon with Modwiz. I don't know if you guys remember that fellow. He's he's a YouTuber. Maybe stopped doing videos for 2 years ago, like something like that. But maybe we can schedule a chat very soon, maybe next week. I think he has a lot of information to share. Well, you're supposed to ask him good questions so he can give us some good, insightful information. Well, anyways, wanted to talk about Crawl and Ray Bradbury today again because, well, I never kind of got very good presentation recently. I was talking about it with RV, and so I wanted to just expand this topic and maybe leave some for the next chat if he's gonna show up during this chat. I don't know because I send him an invitation, so if he's gonna show up, that would be good. But anyways, if not, we're gonna talk with him about connections to different other new information, which is decoding something that everybody knows, but I don't know, is scared to say or something. So it's just about not only controlling class, but about those who are behind the curtain. Well, anyways, just to warm up a little bit, before maybe somebody else comes. Let me screen share. Let's see. Okay. As you can see, this is Economist. I think you know this magazine, but it always shows some different covers which are interesting. And so what is World Ahead of 2020? They had this content special edition from the editor, 10 trends to watch in the coming year. And everybody was, I don't know, somebody who is depicting all those people started to probably make videos about it, but I haven't seen much in English. I have seen some decodings in Russian, And I wanted just to share my opinion also on this topic because as you can see, it's colored mostly in three colors: white, black, which turns to grayscale, and red. Red is like highlighting, and it says like 2022 inside. It has Xi Jinping, Joe Biden, uh, microscopes, springes. I don't know how, how to correctly say it. Energy turbines here, wind turbines, some graphics, uh, as as above, so below. This is like some kind of symmetry here. Space, ship engines, I think. And anyway, so and they also had this article and a video what to look for in 2021 or in 2022. Uh, so what I was trying to tell you is that as you can see, they split this into some kind of a cross and a circle. So the color red is identical to the color of the Economist itself. So this is definitely a hint. And also, nobody actually saw this cover because this cover was in September before the Jewish New Year. And as you can see, it has this rabbit hole. I think it's a serpent. Some coins, that are rolling down the road and jumping into this hole. A rabbit holding a watch, watching what time it is. A cat here, and Alice. By the way, Lewis Carroll is also somehow connected to my presentation because of his last name. So, and also we can see that some coin is already down, and I think this is Ethereum crypto coin. This is Bitcoin. This is dollar. This is some graphics that are showing the raising of the graph. So also going to the rabbit hole. Next one is kind of side shown, and you can only see like it's I think it's a symbol of trade. So the world trade is going also in the rabbit hole. And the last one is kind of small building in antique style. So I think they meant real estate. So this is the Jewish New Year is actually, I think, showing us a lot more information than this one, which is like a New Year's special edition content. So what I'm trying to say is it's like a combination of both. Okay, so here we see graphs here drop, a huge decline here. So probably like it's after summer or something, or maybe closer to summer. Like a huge market drop. I don't know, huge dollar index drop. I don't know what that could be, what that could look like, because it's closer to Biden. In here we see a drop, then a rebound, and a skyrocketing graph. One is skyrocketing and rebounding again. So it's kind of, so China will survive. That's what they're trying to say. China will survive because they have some certain problems in the real estate sectors, and so on. So they're gonna stage something which is gonna reboot the Chinese economy and take it back. U.S. economy declines, and just a small rebound is what they picture in here. So probably something's gonna happen to U.S. economy. Secondly, we see these wind turbines, and so the role of so-called Green New Deal energy, new energy, is going to be raising. But what we know right now is we know that the oil prices are raising and the gas prices are skyrocketing in Europe and many more countries. So what does that mean actually to the green energy? They're making it more um, not profitable but concurrent to the old energy. Raising the energy prices is creating the equality of the prices of energy and the technology of the green sources or renewable sources. Okay, because it's too expensive to use it with this with the prices that were like, last year, when it was like $40 per barrel of oil, and around $200 per gas, 100 cubic meters. So what they're saying is like we're gonna equal the cost of the old energy sources to the cost of the new energy sources, and make it somehow comparable, and um, so it's going to be worth investing in again. Okay, also they have this space thing here and here. So China is doing a lot of space programs, as you know. Probably USA will do some also, maybe some commercial flights, who knows. But that's actually uh, depicted on the same sector as the springes and the microbiology, or this microscope. So I think they meant science and all these spendings that's going to be increased. So increasing spending in science is going to be the trend in this year. Okay, if we go back to here, we see this cryptocurrencies already dropped bad, both Ethereum and Bitcoin. So probably dollar next, trade is going to be dropping next. But what he's actually looking at, he's looking at his watch, and it shows 10:05. So um, I think it can be October 5th, or can be May the 10th of May. So uh, knowing that Jews have the new year from September to September, they probably didn't mean uh, October. But who knows? Maybe October was the start of that, because cryptocurrency started dropping. So we might actually think that they're saying that all this is going to happen during their year. So somebody thinks it's going to happen till the May time, but who knows? Actually, I think it's going to happen during the year, so it's going to end in September. And knowing that this one actually, this graph before, let's see, this one shows that U.S. economy is going to be dropping in the second half of the year. So probably it's going to happen till September. Who knows? But that's my prediction for this as a warm up. And let's see. Nobody came. So we're going to continue with next information. I was also wanted to talk about um, German roots of the crown, but I think we're gonna leave it for the chat with RV. I hope sometimes that we're gonna talk about more stuff and also mention that. But anyways, let's just talk about Edward the Seventh connections, because I found him very interesting person. Let me screen share that slide. Mm-hmm. Yep. As you can see, very interesting guy. Why is that? Because he was the next king, or next king of United Kingdom and of Great Britain and Ireland and British Dominions, the Emperor of India. He was the eldest son of Queen Victoria. Also, he is very interesting. He's a very interesting person. Very interesting person. Just looking at his date of birth is 9th of November. So supposedly this is a period when the mud flood events were finished or finishing, I believe. So I don't think that he was a witness, but he was like one of the post reset elites, I would say. Why is he so interesting? Because, first of all, um, 9th of November is 9/11, and you see that he also died uh, 6th of May of 1910, also 9 and 11. In, I mean, just a coincidence, of course. But also, we supposed to know that, let's see, we also supposed to know that he was a Prince of Wales, of course, and he's a parent to the British throne was for almost 60 years. So he's like one of the longest uh, Prince of Wales. The longest one is current Prince Charles. So, but he was the longest prior to Prince Charles, and also he was let's see, that's my cat. Sorry about that. Uh, he was also graduate of Christ Church, and Christ Church is one of the interesting, also has interesting symbol. Um, I don't know if you can see it right now. Yes, you can. Also, as you can see, there's like birds here looking like crows. So, also, Christ Church is called Aedis Christi. Also, this Aedis Christi is a Masonic order right now. Masonic thing. And the most prime ministers of Great Britain were the Christ Church college graduates. I think uh, Russian vids would have told us a lot more symbolism information here, but also I can see devil face here on emblem. I don't know if you can see it, but kind of looks this way. Well, anyways, what I was wanted to say about this guy, he also has a connection to Charles because one of his he was like a playboy, so he was messing with Lily Lantry, uh, Lady Randolph Churchill. She was the mother, by the way, of British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill. Daisy Greville, also he was calling her a wife. Actress Sarah Bernard and Lady Susan Van Tempest. Singer Hortense Schneider, prostitute Julia Benelli, known as La Barucci. I don't know who knew it, but anyways, wealthy humanitarian Agnes Kaiser, and also Alice Capel. Alice Capel was a British Society, what they say, British Society hostess and a longtime mistress and confidante of King Edward VII. But an interesting thing that she is Capel's granddaughter, Camilla Parker Bowles, is a wife of Prince Charles, and he is Edward's great grandson, and it's rumored that Camilla's grandmother, Sonia Capel, was fathered by Edward, but she was almost certainly the daughter of George Capel, whom she resembled. But well, Edward never acknowledged any illegitimate children, is what Wikipedia says, and his wife Alexandra knew of his affairs. So Well, anyways, it's very interesting because those German folks pretended to be British, and Edward was a father of the first Windsor, and he wasn't supposed to be. He wasn't supposed to be the George the Fifth. He wasn't supposed to be the monarch, but his brother accidentally died, and so on. So very interesting story. I would say we're gonna talk about that for sure. It has a lot of connections. Um, Knowing that Queen Victoria hated her son because he was, as I was saying, he was messing with many women, and his father Albert came while being very sick to talk to him about mm, one of his adventures, I would say, sexual adventures, and was pretty pissed off by his son, and he died 2 weeks after that. Because he was very sick and he wasn't supposed to leave his bed. But Victoria hated her son for whole life. That was very interesting. Why did I even look at this fellow? Because I was checking out German pictures of German reunions, I would say, where a bunch of those monarchs came to Germany and were picturing. Very interesting picture, and see some guy standing behind. Who was that? And that ended up to be Edward. Well, a very interesting fellow. So we're going to talk about him anyways sometimes else. So my little presentation today, at least 60 people showed up. That's good. I have a little slides show. If I can find it, of course. Yeah. It's like this, guys. Yep, I found it. Okay. Let's see. I hope you guys can see it. I'm gonna enlarge it, of course. Okay. So let's start with first one. No, it's not working this way. Let's see. Remove. Share screen again. Let it be this way. I hope you can see it. Yep. So the first connection to, you probably have watched the 3 parts of Crow Crown and Ray Bradbury, so you know what I'm talking about. Let's just start with karma. So my theory is that all these words are connected to Russian and Sanskrit languages, which Russian is like identical 80%. That's what some of them carriers of language say. But anyways, and there's a bunch of connections, and we made some videos before. So if you haven't seen it, just take a look at my channel. It has like a bunch of videos about this language decodings. But anyways, first of all, you need to watch Crow Crown and Red Bradbury to get the general idea of what I'm saying. Today, I'm just gonna present more words starting with sound car or CR or KR in some languages, like in Russian, car means the sound that the crow is saying. Car in Turkish languages, in Turkish group, car is black, and car itself is a punishment in Russia, and karma is also, as you can see, some Sanskrit word connected as what you do, and what you do, and you get it back when it's time to receive that punishment or destiny or whatever. So also might have seen Venom 2, and you see that the new Venom 2 uh, guest star was a Carnage, like a son of Venom 2. But anyways, Carnage is a word you might have heard, and you know what it is. So I just wanted to uh, be more updated with some movie stuff here. Carthage, yeah, Carthage was a city that got severely burned. And if you watched the video of Crow and Ray Bradbury, you've probably seen that I was saying about Bomberos teams and so on, those guys that burn down everything and burn down the evidence. Also, Crow in Stephen King's The Stand. We got this crow with crown from the previous thumbnail, previous series, and you see this guy who was playing Lucifer role, I don't know, or maybe devil role, and he carries this crow in hand, so and a cross hanging here. So very interesting connections, and they also have bomberos there in this in series because the guy blows up the nukes up all the west coast, I believe. So kind of interesting. The fellow was burning and blowing stuff up, and he was like playing major role in all this screenplay. Also, we were talking about the Crow movie with RV Truth. He was also saying some interesting stuff about um, script behind this movie and actual actual death of the main actor, who was a son of Bruce Lee, who also has this suspicious conspiracy event during his death. Well, we all know what to cry is, but literally, we have to understand that the sound CR makes cry, you first say k. You always say that. You just say it fast, and you don't comprehend that you're saying it. That you're also saying cry. Okay. Scary scar. Also, scary scar. So also you get it. It's like all these CR combinations. They mostly bring the negative subliminal message. Sometimes they can be meaning something neutral or even good, but subliminal message is also negative every time. Crusade. Also, you might think that it relates to something else, but no, it also relates to this, because what they were actually doing during Crusade, they were punishing the Islam, or they were punishing pagans, they were punishing, Orthodox folks. Every time the Crusade happens, somebody was beating somebody or fighting somebody, and overall estimated deaths of crusades, they vary from 1 million to 9 million deaf folks. So anyways, it has some negative message inside. Also, word crash. RV made a video on that, and we were probably would have been talking about that more, but I just wanted to make a little logical connection here. Crush, also negative, because you don't get the love back, and sometimes it ends up very bad, including suicides and many other things, which are very negative. Also, word creepy, kind of equal to scary, but very interesting word. The word crawl. Um, I just got this movie poster here from 2011, and the subliminal message here, because This is another movie also scary movie, horror movie, and we have a crocodile crawling. And I would be talking about crocodile, but since RV didn't come, uh, we're gonna be talking about that in the next video. Crucifixion. What came first, crucifixion or Christ? Actually, I think crucifixion, even unofficial explanation, because it was a punishment way before Christ was born. So there's also another type of crucifixion, as you can see, and this crucifixion type was made with Saint Andrew. Very interesting person. Why is that? Because he had a book that was listed in the Bible before it was expelled. And there's a lot of interesting information in that book. Now, they call it apocryph, which is like deleted or banned book. But anyways, this emblem of cross is used by masonry worldwide, and it's used in many flags. Okay. Missiles. You might think, what the hell missiles supposed to do with that? Well, it sounds good in Russian, and as you can see, has the same thing to sound. Carnival. Well, the most famous carnival we know is Carnival in Venice, and guys are wearing feathers and masks of black doctors, which look suspiciously like crows and so on. So very interesting. Carnivore. We know a bunch of animals that eat other animals, and they call them carnivore predators. Also, word quarantine. Some might think it's after the Italian quaranta, which is 40. That was how many days people spent on the ship when they come from some, you know, ancient trip. And they're supposed to leave near the port for 40 days and to see if everybody is okay. But in Russia, we have this interesting connection because when somebody dies, we have a 3-day funeral. We have a funeral day. We have a 3-day meeting after the funeral. We have a 9-day meeting after the funeral. And we have a 40-day meeting after the funeral. The more the more days pass, the more people can come. I would say the most is the day when the funeral actually proceeded, but then, as they say, the first, like, it's like very close people. Second time it's like some maybe neighbors may come. I don't know. Well, it's what they say. I'm not actually saying anything that's connected to quarantine, but just think about it. Somebody died from some disease, and not many people come first time because to the close meeting when they drink and eat and sit in it on the table, actually talk about the deceased person, tell stories and so on, remember. But the more the day, the more people can come because they are sure that nothing will happen to those relatives and so on. Nobody else gonna die, I would think. So that's the subliminal message in these 40 days, and it's equal to the Italian legend of quarantine. But, well, actually, I put the ship behind. It was the first ship, and it was actually interesting because it was called Diamond Princess, and diamond can be decoded as die world, because monde in French is world. Well, just my connection. Well, anyways, carabinieri. These fellows are connected both to bomb bearers because they have the same emblem here on heads. It's like a bomb, an explosive bomb, and they also have this carabinieri because they have Maybe they had carabines back in the days, but carabine itself is like can be depicted punishment one. Bin is binary, or bin. So we might think about this, but actually this is connection. Crumble. Crumble is not only ruining something, um, chopping it to particles, getting rid of something, and so on. So it's also saying some food is called crumble, and you know how it looks. Corn. Corn. Yeah, interesting word. As what they say, corn was brought around recent times, so medievals and so on. So nobody was actually using that word before, but you know, I kind of debunked this in this video. Well, anyways, corn. Um, but corn we call also korova. Um, the cows. Cows we call korova, and we also call food food for the pets. We call it korm in Russian. And the next connection is kормchi. Kормchi, they call these two fellows the great kормchi, the helmsman. Kормchi is a guy who steers the ship, actually in ancient Russian, the stern of the ship. And we also call karma this place, and we call ship kорабль. So you might also have some connections to the Marine Kingdom symbolism, and maybe we're gonna talk about that later with RV. So very interesting. So Kормchi is also might actually sound that the guy who feeds the people, gives them the supplement. Crust, also crust, we call it korka. Crust, if you can think of a tree here, of a cut down tree, and you can see that we call crust, we call it korka or kara if we talk about the trees. Core in English, in Russian is ядро. Root is what's below the tree, we call it корень. So, well, it's not total connection, but as you can see, connection to the trees and the crown of the trees. Also, we call it корона дерева. You might think that дерево is different from the tree, but actually it's TR, DRE here. Дерево, терево, tree. So kind of like this way. So cartoon. Well, back in the days, cartoons were kind of funny and maybe more kind, especially in Soviet Union. We didn't have bad cartoons, but every cartoon was kind of kind, and you got emotions. Now we have Cartoon Network, which totally shows different weird cartoons, different other networks. We can name it, Nickelodeon, I don't know, Disney, a bunch of subliminal message there, including very, very unacceptable for the kids. Carriage, also very interesting, because they used to carry people in carriages, and just imagine how many people were carried in carriages. In Russian, we call kareta, and you call this carriage. So, cartel, also a very interesting word, and I think cartel and punishment and something negative is very easily found in that word. Care can be good, of course, but you can take care of somebody like cartel do, and that's gonna be kind of different care. Crime. Well, talking about crime is definitely something negative. Carceration, corrections. Correction system itself starts with car, and carcer is the worst place to be in prison. Court. Well, they used to be only royal courts, but then people started to work professionally as a judges, and were assigned by the royal fellows and were proceeding people in court and gave them sentences and so on, imprisonment and corrections. Also very interesting Disney person, Cruella, which reminds me of the word being cruel. Also corrupt, right? Corrupt. Corruption itself, very interesting word. So also connected to the elite and the methods of the play. But I just wanted to point out that Cruella was the one. She was messing with those dogs. She was very nasty to them. Saint Christopher, yeah, connected to dogs definitely. And if you read dog the other way, you get God, of course. And let me just talk about Saint Christopher a little bit, as my presentation was finished for right now. Let's see, Saint Christopher. Saint Christopher or Saint Christophorus, also known as a reprobus, was born in 3rd century. Well, very interesting. On some pictures, he is painted with the Jesus on his shoulder as he's carrying it. But in Eastern tradition, he was captured. A man named Repreve, outcast, condemned, bad, Latinum reprobus, was captured by the Romans during the Battle of Marmalic. Later, he served in the numerous Marmaritarum, uh, a division of Marmarites, or Marmarites, immigrants from the Marmaric region or representative of Berber tribe. He was a man of enormous stature and terrifying behavior. He was dog-headed, like all representatives of his tribe. So that says like a bunch of dog-headed people were around. And even they have this kinocephalus definition for them, which means dog-headed. Another version of the origin of his dog's head, this legend appeared on Cyprus. The saint was very handsome, but in order to avoid temptations and women who constantly disturbed him, he begged the Lord to disfigure his appearance. And so he was ugly because of that. So somebody thought he was even dog-headed, but who knows actually. But anyways, why I think he's connected to karma and punishment and so on, because he was in this. Well, let's just read whatever. In Sanaxario, Constantinople, indication that the unusual appearance of the saint and his origin from the country of dog-headed people and cannibals should be understood symbolically as a state of rudeness and ferocity during his stay as a pagan. The bestial likeness of Christopher is not mentioned at all in the Synaxarion of St. Nicodemus, the holy mountaineer. It is only reported that he had an ugly face. It is also known as the Demetrius of Rostov spoke out against the bestial image of St. Christopher. Even before baptism, Repref professed faith in Christ and denounced those who persecuted Christians. For this, he had only beaten by a certain Bacchus and accepted the beatings with humility. Soon after, 200 soldiers were sent to bring him. A famous strong man, the Emperor Decius, reprieve obeyed without resistance. Miracles happened along the way. The road of Saint Home blossomed through his prayer. The loaves that the travelers lacked were multiplied, like the multiplication of the loaves by Jesus Christ in the wilderness. The soldiers who accompanied Repref were amazed by miracles, believed in Christ, and together with Repref were baptized by the bishop of Antioch. So not even they were, capturing him, but they believed him so much that they got baptized with him. And he gave them bread and all this stuff like Jesus Christ. He multiplied things, and so they were eating well. So they believed him. After baptism, Repref received the name Christopher and began to preach the Christian faith, using the opportunity given by the angel to speak the previously unfamiliar language of the Lycians. It was like, some apostles were talking this language. When Christopher was brought to the emperor or the governor of Antioch, he was horrified by his appearance. He decided to force him to renounce God not by violence, but by cunning. Decius summoned two harlot women, Calenicia and Aquilina, and ordered them to persuade the saint to renounce Christ and offer sacrifices to the Roman gods. But the women returning to emperor declared themselves Christians, for which they were subjected to cruel tortures and died as martyrs. This is also sentenced to death the soldiers sent after St. Christopher who believed in Christ. The emperor ordered the martyr to be thrown into a red hot copper box. However, St. Christopher experienced no suffering and remained unharmed. After many cruel tortures, the martyr was finally beheaded with a sword. His body was taken back to Alexandria by Peter of Atalia. So, very interesting guy. You might also read about him. There's some articles on Russian Wikipedia here. But anyways, what I was wanted to show you guys is that I found also some interesting connections. Let's see. Stop screen. Let's see where I found it. It's always hard to find. Oh, okay. Just a couple of more pictures and I'm done for today. Let's see. Well, I found this Kinapoik and I don't know. So somebody says that it's Hermes depiction, but also we can see him with the head of the dog. Also another Hermes depiction. As you can see, these serpents here forming so-called DNA symbolism. I think this is from ancient Greece. Very interesting also depiction. This is depiction of another ancient god. Some might call him Sabaoth. There's another depiction of St. Christopher here. And also I found this Um, a dog, lighten up, as we know what this is. This is a bomb of bomberos. Okay, and also David Starr here. Very interesting fragment. I found it on somebody's page, so I don't actually know where he filmed it, this footage. Well, anyways, that's a good find anyway. Also, talking about crusades, there's some helmets like this online looking like they were made for these Kinocephal fellows. I don't know, this statue also found somewhere, and this fellow here also looking dog-headed. Well, that's my depictions. I hope you got some idea on what I was saying. I just take a look if anyone has any questions that I can answer right now. And probably we'll be done for today. Let's see. People should know The Economist magazine. They've been giving us hints for years. Yeah, that's a for sure. The fuel is expensive. You need papers. You need, you will never explore your realm again until. Perhaps. The X Factor event, a kiss of the sun that cost a melted old world after some resets. If you ask me, never was saying anything like this. So ask those who promote this stuff. I'm not gonna gatekeep this anymore. I have some videos, although you can watch them and find out what I'm saying about this melted information. um, World War II will commence. World War III. Well, the Pope of Rome said in 2013, the current Pope of Rome said in 2013 that then World War III has begun. So, if we take a look actually, what the staging and scripting and stuff in 50, 60 years from now, everybody gonna be saying that was start of World War III. So, who knows actually? But I don't think that it's gonna take us very long. Last time I tried to find some information on that, I was saying it about the message that Trump was given in his Instagram, and it looks like he was having a deal with Putin not to start a war. Like it's still up, so don't worry. They go into bed, I think, already. But well, he was meeting with Putin in Helsinki, I think, and after that he got this subliminal message in his uh, press release, and it looked like they were, they had a deal not to start anything before 2024. And I was saying it because he had certain symbolism there. So I don't think that they're gonna start a big war, but they could start something like an invasion to Ukraine, or just, you know, somebody might think it's an invasion, but somebody might think it's just just withdrawal of all Western agents from Ukraine, and a mm, removal of the pro-Western actors from Ukraine, and maybe reunion of Soviet Union version 2.0. So I was talking about that on my second channel. Maybe I'm gonna do that. It's pretty much soon. Don't wanna trash up here about this information. Uh, yep, Crow is a Corvette. I was saying that some prior time. Yes, of course. And they also connected to ravens. Ravens are the keepers of tower. Very interesting connection to the crown. So, raven and Crow in Russian is only one word, one letter different. One is Varona and one is Voron. Voron, Varona. So uh, crown in Russian is Corona. So that was I was starting with. So definitely had the same language, but everybody was speaking it, and then we divided to different countries, probably due to some quarantine measures or something like this. So people started to talk their own dialects and forgetting and changing the intonation and pronunciation, and dialects appeared. So um crucifixion was way before Jesus, yes, also in prehistory. Now somebody thinks that, like Fomenko and Nosovsky, that Jesus Christ story happened in not 2,000 years ago, but 1,000 years ago. So might also look at this information. I'm not saying it's totally correct, but correct. But it has some points in it, so might as well take a look. Although Fomenko himself is a very suspicious person, and all this Masonic information that was actually brought not by Fomenko himself, it was brought to the world first by Newton, Isaac Newton. Then some other fellows joined, and then some Russians started to work on it. And obviously, I had a big video on Fomenko. Might as well take a look at it, although it has some other information, which is like can do collateral damage to your brain. Sorry, but I had time codes, so you won't watch what you don't want to watch. Okay. Krishna, Christ, yeah, crystal, very interesting connections, of course. Well, if you talk about Bible and all this information about Bible, I also wanted to read some from Bible also with if RV came, but very interesting information. Might as well take a look at this one more time and make a video on Bible, even if we don't talk about that soon. He said unto them, let's just read what Lee Charles wants us to read. He said unto them, but whom say ye that I am? Peter said, the Christ of God. And he straitly charged them and commanded them to tell no man that thing. Well, some Russian icons, Christ is depicted with the cross behind his head and this little circle behind his head. Some crosses have this also this construction with a circle and somebody think it's a sun, and a cross is like the day of astronomic day of the shortest day of the year, and then it's coming back to normal, and so the sun rises. I don't know what connections. Actually, there's so many connections. As to Lucifer, people thought he was a Venus. Watch RV channel, he made a video on Polaris connections to Lucifer and so on. So very interesting information. If you're interested in that, we definitely going to talk about Bible and so on. But you might be disappointed in what I say, because sometimes I'm gonna blow your previous comprehension up, pointing at the words that are written in the Bible and clear enough, because I don't do not obvious things. I only do obvious things, and I don't like to debate, actually, because you can read it by yourself and find out the same that I found, because This is not a debatable question. We are not questioning something here. We are just telling the obvious things, the connections, the decodings, and the so-called conspiracy. By the way, conspiracy. If you talk about conspiracy, what is con actually? Con is in Russian is well, if you talk about law in Russian, it's zakon. Zakon. Za means out of bounds of con. Con is inside of something. Like you have conus, cones, and so on. So it's like circle form, which is, going up like a pyramid form or something. Oh, anyways, something that is inside, like a convict also. Talking about corrections. Convict is the guy who locked inside by the law. Um, convince somebody, like convince, like, uh, so you go inside of some idea with somebody and convince them. Many connections to con. I think the German word Konig, which is like a knight in knight, K and ite, in medieval's knights were elites. Konig is mm, might even be seen as a duke or a ruler or a king, because king is also connected to Konig because it's the same word, only spelled differently. KN. KN is also horse, конь in Russian. So somebody who was riding a horse is definitely a knight, KN, although it's spelled like a knight, but actually it's K, knight. So convincing conspiracy is converging into something, always converging, not outside but inside, bringing closer to common idea. And so the law in Russian is zakon, which is like decrypting, decoding the word law. You don't know what law means. Go to Russian and you find out that it's zakon. So it's out of bounds of kon, out of bounds of common idea, of common understanding, something that is brought from outside. Okay? And with these connections, you go to marine law and the stuff that we also wanted to talk with today. But definitely we're going to talk about tomorrow, not tomorrow, next time. I even had a chat on Marine Kingdom with Lady Mud, but she kind of quit YouTube, or maybe it was deleted. I don't know. Not actually were wasn't checking that often to tell you for sure. But she sent me a video on maritime law connections, like currency, bank embankment, currency current, uh, mm, many like liquidity, liquid, and so on. So banknotes, many connections. So she sent me that video, and I might re-edit it and make a new video on that information. Very interesting one. What I'm saying is there's a bunch of connections to mining and to Marine Kingdom, to the ancient mining processes, and many other information that might be interesting to you guys you never heard about. So, wow. Hey, Noel. Noel is from Malta, and who, but not Maltese, they know about maritime law. They know about British naval fleet and stuff like this. So, and they have a Malta order, which is one of the most interesting orders in the world. It's one of the most unhidden operatives in the world, so I believe we also might want to take a look at them one more time. Well, I think we don't have any more questions. I hope you guys enjoyed that, although it wasn't expected and scheduled. So, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.